What really happened in today's White House meeting? House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy joins us. He was there today. Nice to see you, sir.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So how was your meeting today?
It was a nice meeting. It was bicameral. You had House and Senate Republican Democrats there. But what's the interesting part always with me is when the president talks about he wants to work with you, it's only on what he wants to work with. And some of the discussions I brought up to the president, we've only been here 1 week, and he's already offered 5 veto threats.
And what did he say to that when you brought that up to him?
Well, the point I tried to take back after him, he can always offer a veto threat. Why wouldn't he let the process work? Because we're just taking up the bill. The Senate has to take up their version. Why doesn't he work through the process? I thought that would be better for America to see that we can try to work together and find common ground. His response back to me, well, when we go in areas that he disagrees in, he's going to position. But the interesting part, the bills that we all brought up were bipartisan. You know, of those 382 bills we passed that lingered in the Senate, 276 of them had enough votes that were veto-proof, more than 100 Democrats voting for it. Can you believe that? And some of these we brought up to pass, and he's trying to argue against them.
Well, he's trying to head off the past. That it's Republicans' desire. They've said it a million times they want to repeal Obamacare. So I assume that's one of the things he's trying to head off the past by threatening to veto anything on that. Well,
one of the discussions we brought up too, the Supreme Court has a little case coming up in June.
King versus Burwell.
Exactly. And one of the discussions they had with the president is he prepared for whichever way that response comes from the Supreme Court. Are you prepared if the ACA loses in that process? What happens next?
And he said?
He thought they were prepared, but it was pointed out, many in his administration have mentioned many times that they don't taking any control over that. They think they'll be fine.
Well, you know, I've been around the block. Price and law. You're never fine when your case is pending in the court. I don't care which side you are. Not everybody's fine. Are they not doing anything in the event they do lose?
Well, that's why we should take up inside the House what do we think about health care and which direction we should go. We have a retreat this weekend, and for the first time in a decade, you're going to have the House Republicans and the House Senate together working on their agenda for the future, which I think would be very positive. And what I said to the president today, and I've said this before, in America, we have a history that we've been able to achieve big things with divided government. Ronald Reagan had divided government, they did tax reform. Bill Clinton had Newt Gingrich, and they reformed welfare and balanced the budget. This is a unique opportunity. And to start out just threatening vetoes in the first week, 5, I don't think that's the right approach.
Did he any place where he was reaching across the aisle to you? Is there anything, did he come off any of his positions?
No, he talks about, we can work with him on cybersecurity, yes, we want to work with him on that. And what's ironic to there is we passed a couple cybersecurity bills, but they lingered in the Senate and didn't go anywhere. He talked about maybe trade. We want to work on that. And we talked a little about tax reform. But every time when you talk with him about tax reform, he usually turns to wanting to raise more taxes. We're talking about moving this economy in a different direction.
How was Senator Harry Reid today?
He wasn't there.
Oh, he didn't go?
He's
still out?
He's still out, yes. I have not seen him since the injury.
Any other interesting dynamics there? Any ruffled feathers?
No, it's very cordial from that standpoint. People make their point, though. I thought the Speaker made very strong points about which direction to go. And remember, this is the second time we've met since the election, and we talked to him about taking executive action is not the place to go.
And then what did he say?
He has a difference of opinion of that.
Is that what that's how he said? I have a difference of opinion. He didn't say.
Well, the last time he used that phrase to us, but today he expresses his position and he thinks we have our position. But I think the Constitution's pretty clear that there's a separation of separation of powers, that he doesn't have the right to do what he's trying to do. It's extending, and that's why we have the right to protect the Constitution and move what legislation that we move.
And you willing to give a little to the president?
Oh, I'm willing to work with anyone that's willing to work. That's the way our government's designed. No one's going to get 100% of what they want. And why don't you let the system work and find out at the end of the day? He has the right to sign it or not sign it, but why would you say you're going to threaten a veto when it's just being introduced or just being debated?
Leader McCarthy, it's nice to see you. Hope you come back often. Nice to see you.
Oh, good to see you.
And why was